Booze.
Getting back into the game a little bit, we are right now. We're
Booze.
walking around one of my favorite little early areas in the game, Berglund Park, full of law-abiding, wonderful people. There's some good people here, but there's also some pretty interesting ones as well. This is one of the things I like about this area. Is where you get introduced into one of the either essential or useless, depending on who you talk to, system of using condiments on food. Are any of you guys stalwart supporters of the condiment system?
No, I never really used it.
I hated the fact that like you couldn't, like a condiment didn't just work on everything. I mean, it makes sense. You shouldn't put like ketchup on cake, but like like nothing would. You have such a limited inventory space anyway, so to have like healing items and then a condiment with them, that's like 2 spots in your extremely limited inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that our Diego he's playing through this as well, kind of as we are on the show. And that's one of the things that he's been running into is just the inventory system is very, very strict. Yeah.
Got a lot of PP in you?
You know it, baby.
Maybe you should use the bathroom before you stream.
All right. Would anyone like to voice Apple Kid?
I'm Applehead.
I didn't even say, if everyone didn't notice, obviously, look, we have the teddy bear on our stream as well. He's just a little shy, so.
I didn't realize that the teddy bear looked like had a frown.
You know what? I think today was the day I actually took a good look at the teddy bear sprite. Like, wait a minute.
He does look like he has a frown.
Yeah. Like, I get that what they're trying to do, like with the teddy bear thing, but it just makes him look sad.
So we're going to give money to those people, and then we gotta make our way through a valley full of UFOs and angry trees, which is something you can only really say in Earthbound. Hopefully we don't end up with a mushroom on our head. For some weird reason, a pencil-shaped iron statue is blocking the path.
This UFO is going to give you a cold.
I bet it will.
Oh, dude, you're homesick.
Yeah. Finally, the pencil eraser is ready. This machine will eradicate all pencil-shaped figures in just 1 second. It's incredibly powerful. Just don't use it near a shop that sells pencils. It's such a bad joke, but it gets me every time. We get a territorial oak.
He's just trying to weed out the root of his problem.
So, did you guys know what Mr. Saturn is actually? Mr. Saturn, if you guys don't know, is kind of like a mascot of the series almost. It's the little goofy guy with the little thing on his head. Do you guys know what inspired him?
A short, nude man with a bow on his head? The only time I ever really have trouble in this game is when you go under Stonehenge.
The first time I ever played Earthbound was I rented it from a Blockbuster, and the save file on it was under Stonehenge, and that's my first experience with this game. Because, of course, being a kid, I was like, I want to play the hard part right now, and I never got far at all. I just had no idea. But I remember that so fondly because that was my first experience with Earthbound, was this scary biological looking area populated by aliens underneath Stonehenge. Like, what a perfect introduction. We have made it to Happy Village, which is a very happy place, and there's nothing weird at all. And there's definitely not cultists with paintbrushes. One thing I really love about this town, there's so much hypocrisy in the town. Like, I love this little food stand here. It's like, we trust you. Feel free to shop here. And then you go talk to this guy, and he's like, I'm monitoring those who don't pay. It's like, oh, yeah, no, they don't trust you at all, actually.
No, you can't. Got him.
The Mighty Bears are so cute.
He is. I love his little face, and I love the way he has his little claws.
Yeah, and he's like, he's just happy. He looks so smiling and happy.
And then you murder him.
Yeah,
well, I mean, he's trying to murder you, I mean, like...
murder him.
I mean, like, I don't care how happy or cute something is. If it tries to murder me, I'm gonna murder it back.
Welcome to episode 3 of Monsterbound. This week we have my co-host Nick, as always, the gentleman, the lovely, everyone's favorite. Maybe his arch nemesis Vyser will stop in to torture him today. Who knows? We have Bao, an absolutely fanatic man. He carries the name of Super Robot Wars and Xenogears to the far reaches of the universe. We have our good friend Wes, fellow RPG enthusiast, and we have this GIF that I'm pretty sure is as old as the internet because I've been seeing it for like 100,000 years, if not more. So,
I will say it's funny you mentioned Xenogears because sometimes I forget. Oh, from Xenoblade, there's a giant Monado right next to me off camera that you can't see.
oh really? That's great.
Oh, I want to see that.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's so
Oh,
cool.
dude.
That's
fucking
amazing.
Oh my
rules.
gosh.
As a Xenoblade fan, that rules. I love that. Holy shit.
If I had a superpower, it would probably be to find the right way in every RPG the first time, every time.
Right.
Which is the world's worst superpower.
You'd be great at Star Ocean 1 in that case if you had that power.
Star Ocean 1 is the first review I ever got a comment on.
Really?
Yeah. This
Okay,
guy told
with-
me that he just told me that I was bad at video games and I shouldn't be reviewing RPG. I think the fights I was having trouble with were mostly optional fights.
Vyser said that was his comment.
But that was, yeah,
It was me all along.
I believe you, Vyser.
Well, that's how I knew that I had made it. Was I made a newbie's guide to Shin Megami Tensei for RPG fan,
Okay.
and as soon as I got the comment, oh, it should actually be Megami Tensei. Shin Megami Tensei is a sub-series. I was like, oh, I've made it. I truly am.
Oh, I remember that comment. I loved. You showed me that comment. Oh my gosh, I loved that. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I would have done the biggest eye roll ever reading that. Like, really.
Be like, I'm actually injured. That hurts.
I just love the idea of like just getting like who's up there? Who's up in the stars like this dude? Right? Like actually it's just Megami Tensei.
It's like one of my favorite little Game Grumps bits is when they're talking about being at Galaxy's Edge, like the Star Wars part of Disney, and the guy actuallying his kid. He was like, actually those are the Empire ships and they're the bad guys. And I'm like, oh my god, you're gonna make a murderer.
Anyway, yeah, now we're just talking about random JRPGs. Okay, so like, you know what? While Frank's doing this, though, I mean, like, what did you guys? I mean, like, what did you guys think of Bravely Default 2? I know Frank loves it, so Frank doesn't get to talk.
Yeah,
That's why we're doing it because I know Frank loves it. All right, and I want to know about. Why don't you tell us how you? It's because it sounds like you played some of it.
I beat it a few days ago.
Okay, cool. What did you? Without spoiling anything, what did you think about it?
In terms of like just as a game in the series, I think it's a better game than Bravely Second, but I don't know if I'd rank it over the first Bravely Default game. It's a really good game. It's fun. I wish they had took more risks with the jobs in the game because they're pretty much all jobs we've seen before, nothing original.
So the Pictomancer was really like the
Oh,
only
yeah.
class that I was like, oh, this is different and new, like a painting class that's debuff focused. But other
Yeah,
than that,
You get to play as what's her name from Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah, that's Realm right up there.
Yeah, that's it, Realm. Yeah. So I was in the locker room and after gym class, and this kid's like, "Hey, Nick, have you ever watched Poker Man?" And I'm like, "Poker Man?"
Pokemon sounds like a bad translation of James Bond or something. Like Casino Royale is...
Poker Man, King Casino.
I always saw it as the toothbrush mustache, personally.
Okay.
I don't think I can see it any other way.
We should consult the Earthbound handbook. Try.
He's like, how about introducing her to my bandmate? He's right there. No, shabba da wop diddly dee da, shabba dee dee bop wah. I got these dead blues. Tonight you got the Chaos Theater's Soul Men coming at you, or rocking and rolling live on this here stage for a limited time only. The world's greatest bluesmen, the Runaway Five, and here they come. Oh yeah, baby!
Wow, Frank, you should actually do that professionally.
You really brought it there.
Yeah, no kidding.
This is what America was like in the 90s, everybody.
That's true. That is very true. Music is the weapon.
You're right. You're right.
So, fun fact, there is no TH sound in Japanese. Alright, Bao, what's your favorite creepy town in an RPG?
Oh, easy. The first town is Shadow Hearts. It's a town full of cannibals.
Oh, okay.
He got it. He got it in one.
Wes pimps out Shadow Hearts like it's
I love Shadow Hearts. So good.
Yeah. I have written many words about Shadow Hearts and will write many more before my days are done.
My favorite scary town in an RPG is probably the entirety of Digital Devil Saga 1.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great.
It's such a good setting. It's such a good setting.
I'd say mine would be the mist-filled tower in Legend of Legaia. The one that the Berserker is at the top of. That big green guy you have to grind to beat. That place is so spooky and has such an atmosphere, and then you get such a payoff once you actually clear it. And like everyone moves back in, and it's got like all those mini games and stuff like that. And it's one of those parts of the game that I remember really, really well.
I love how many PS1 games weaponized the poor draw distance of the console.
That's a good way of putting
Like,
it.
no, we'll throw some mist in there. That'll freak them the hell out.
So, hey, Bao, why don't you tell us a little bit about your YouTube channel, man?
Sure. I've been coming to YouTube itself for about 14 years now, but I didn't start making videos until probably 7-8 years, give or take. And my content, I'm sort of shifting what I'm doing. I'm trying to do more videos on like more thought-provoking comments, like what's more important in the game, whether it be story or gameplay. Can you be a fan of a game you've never played? Stuff like that. I also do random stuff too, like top 10 lists. I've ranked all the Final Fantasy games. I talk about obscure RPGs like the Super Robot Wars series. Kind of a little of everything, honestly.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're really. I mean, like the whole stream, you've really been speaking Wes's language.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll be subscribing shortly. My favorite Earthbound shirt is this scene right here.
I love Tessie's face. Like, I just want a shirt with
It's so
Tessie's
good.
face on it because I feel like that when the Monday's hitting just right. This dungeon has no entrance fee. Come on in.
Come on in, neighbor.
Welcome to my modest dungeon, Brick Road.
God.
And I love the music.
I just got this, like, huge nostalgia rush.
Fucking goat. Oh, the duck! It's the duck! I love the duck.
Is he gonna make something spin?
I hope.
Oh, that's such a good duck.
He fell down.
I like how useless everyone is in this situation. The Mad Duck falls down, the monkey falls over, or the monkey starts scratching his head.
Let's go down here for 2 seconds.
No! Oh god, it's horrible. Don't show it.
Look, the memories. Just think of the Sword of Kings. How many hours you spend down here.
Was this just to torture us?
Yeah, it was. Oh no!
But you're still hungry.
So I'm sort of confused with his sprite. Is the inside of his mouth like lips, or is that a tongue? Like,
Well, what's
I
scarier?
think it's supposed to be a tongue, but I've never actually really looked at it. But now that you said,
Well,
is that supposed to be lips?
I can't unsee it. Like, this is a luchador mask?
Yeah.
that's what it looks like, a luchador.
Oh no!
That fucking rules!
Oh,
Yes,
that's-
that's exactly what it is.
That is 100% what it is.
Because that really is what it looks like now. There's no way I'm ever gonna be able to look at that and see it
Oh,
again.
that I can't
Very
believe.
tense stereo.
That's just lips.
What I'm thinking is that we're gonna hopefully we're gonna get through this little dungeon in one go. Oh my god, that's a lot of people.
I'm pretty certain I played I must have played like Final Fantasy. I know I played Final Fantasy, commonly referred to in America as Final Fantasy at the time.
You know what I found? Like, trying to get people to play Earthbound, one of the big barriers for them was just the fact that you don't see your party members. That Dragon Quest style first-person perspective is a surprisingly big barrier for a lot of folks.
A lot of people just it's just not an attractive like battle style for them. They have to.
Which
they
is
won't.
crazy considering the backgrounds. Like the backgrounds are so good.
The backgrounds and the enemy design sell it, and I think it's the same reason that it works in Dragon Quest. Is the enemy design is so good, having like big full-featured art of it.
Hi ho, me Mr. Saturn. This place all are Mr. Saturn.
The font for Mr. Saturn is just next level stuff.
And Mother 2, the way that Mr. Saturn talk, it's actually the font choice is inspired by Itoi's daughter's handwriting.
Yep.
Oh, that's
That's
fantastic.
cool.
Right?
Whoa, is that Mr. Saturn?
Yes, it actually is. Would you like to?
That's
Would you?
crazy. They put Mr. Saturn from Smash in this game?
They did actually. So a little bit before stream, I grinded up a little bit, got us a little bit of extra stats and stuff like that. Got a little beefy, you know. Okay, so Brian, let's get you actually up to base. Basically, we're kids with psychic powers and bats who got to save the world. We ended up in a town after we rode through the ghost-filled subway in their tour van because the happy music keeps the ghost away. We got to a town, we caught a bunch of zombies by using the zombie equivalent of flypaper, and then psychically contacted the kid with the glasses who proceeded to fly in a UFO from a winter wonderland, crash into a cemetery, and then we came on over to this wonderful Saturn Valley so we could stop the zombies.
And all the zombies got attracted to the zombie paper.
Okay.
So, once we had the zombies out of the way, we managed to go here to the to Saturn Valley, and we found out that the Mr. Saturns were actually being enslaved by the evil Master Belch.
Isn't this the giant talking head in, you know?
What?
What?
What can I say?
Spencer Legacy.
I'm here.
Alright, well, let's
Go ahead,
do it.
Frank.
Drink coffee before go. Say yes to me. Say no to me. Yes. Bottoms up, boing. Oh,
I have
yeah,
a coffee
everyone
to
just
celebrate.
yeah.
Me too. I've got some coffee.
Though he is timid, he came from a distant land to help you. When you finish this cup of coffee, your adventure will begin again. Next, you must pass through a vast desert. Proceed to the big city of Fourside.
I bet Pierce Brosnan smells really nice.
You know what? You're not wrong.
That's an
Probably
astute
does.
observation.
I made a fake JRPG with Wes called Beans and Weenie, which is you play Beans, who's like a kid in the 60s, in like Selma in the 1960s, who has to deal with like segregation and racism. And he has a wiener dog that runs with him.
Do you guys like that this guy is just like, man, I'm trying to dig up gold and diamonds. Do you got any food? If you do, I'll give you the gold. Like, wouldn't it be nice if it was that easy?
But the trade-off is that if you're outside in the sun for like 2 minutes, you get sunstroke.
You can get a sunstroke in this game?
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, it's a
Why-
status
why-
effect. Spirit bomb me.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
share your gamer energy right now.
Yeah, she give
Gamer
me...
energy.
Spencer, I need your gamer energy to succeed.
Fine.
If you were my friends, you'd hate me.
I hate you, Nick.
I know, that's why you're my best friend.
Who can...
I love how this game, you know, like the all the environments are from kind of like the same angle, and then you get to the big city, and they're like, no, we're gonna kind of like isometric you. I think that's really cool, and it helps make it feel bigger, I think.
Just imagine if you were just walking around the desert as a kid with your friends and a fucking bison comes up on you.
Like the first person who had to have seen like a bison IRL, like probably shit their pants.
See why people believed in demons and shit back then. First person to see like the fucking bison was probably like, holy shit.
Isn't that like why old like sailor stories are like always talk about like krakens and shit? Because they had like sea
Yeah.
squids and just
That's
get
why
terrified.
maps have sea monsters on them, because they saw like a fucking crawfish and they were like, holy shit.
Crawfish.
They were just super high and they held up the crawfish and they're like, dude, you imagine this thing was like 300 feet tall?
Whoa.
This mole is, he looks like he's the third strongest. I'm not entirely sure. A little side note, I love when you go to this one, and of course Foreside's the big city and everything, you go, good word, this is a unique service exclusive to our hotel only.
Yeah.
And he reads you the news, and literally every single hotel in the game does that for you. Like, it's just one of those little things that's like, you know, commenting on like life in the city and how things are like packaged and sold to you.
Yeah.
Trails in the sky.
dead.
Whoa, jeez.
that was scary.
If everyone wants to say bye, Nick, you want to start?
Bye, Nick. You can reach me on Twitter at nmandracina.
Yeah, and of course, everyone plug all your stuff. We're all Monster Vine brother in here, but we all got lots of interesting stuff on our own as well. So, Diego, you want to go next?
I'm good with not.
Brian?
Thanks for watching. You can find me on Twitter at BradGuyBeach, and don't forget to check out MonsterVine.com.
And Spencer, let's finish it off.
Let's finish it off. Thanks everyone for coming out. You can check me out at Spencer_MV. I post nonsense.
We saved an entire enslaved race of aliens. We found the third sanctuary. We made diamonds. We beat moles. It's been a very productive evening for us over here at Monsterbound.